There you go. That is your new intro.
Awesome. There you go. We're getting
I
closer to
know.
it. Yeah.
So closer to what you want.
Yeah. It's always about what I want.
I know. You're the listen. It's your show. You're the host. David and I just sit here and look pretty.
Yeah.
So, and he was typing to me while you were talking to Susan. And I said, "Why don't you come on at the end?" He goes, "No, I wasn't there in the beginning." I go, "No, you should come on." So he was all of a sudden he got camera shy. So what can I tell you?
Probably got his pajamas on. That's the
Well,
problem.
it is true. It is 5 o'clock in the Netherlands, so you're not probably far off. He's got his nightshirt and his slippers and his cocoa, so he's probably getting ready for bed. So
Yeah. So our show does spread over the continents a little bit. So David's from
I
the
didn't know
Netherlands.
that.
Yeah. David's from the Netherlands, and Stephen's in the U.S. down south,
Okay.
Austin, Texas. So yeah, and I'm in
Oh,
Saskatoon.
I love Texas.
really,
I
why?
do, yes. No, I have my cousin. Okay, so when I first started to paint,
Right.
I have a cousin who used to live in Texas, and I would go down there and paint with her.
Oh wow, very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What area did you paint in?
Pardon me?
What area of Texas?
She was in, let me see.
I can name the big
We're
cities
also
for you.
in Texas, but she was also near
Dallas,
Yeah.
San Antonio, Austin,
And it's-
Dallas.
yeah, it's like
Okay.
she's from Kerrville. It was Kerrville.
Kerrville?
Yeah.
I've never heard of Kerrville, but I'm sure it's a real city.
It's just outside of San Antonio because we used
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
So I would
very
go
cool.
down and paint with her and golf with her husband.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, we have lots of golf. This is like Florida, Texas. We've
It
got golf courses coming out of your, you know what?
Yeah.
Like when I lived in Palm Beach, there's every other corner there's a golf course, public or private. And Texas is kind of like that as well. There's not as many golf communities here, which surprised me, but there's a lot of golf courses.
Okay. There you go.
So I was like, interesting.
Mhm.
So I have a question. You're an accountant, your real job, and your
Yeah.
artist is your other real job. So at what point did you say I want to be an artist? Because you still do the accounting.
Yes. Well, okay. So what I do is just the income tax part.
Okay.
I'm also a breakfast manager at one of the hotels here,
Okay.
and I'm a volunteer with Make-A-Wish Foundation.
All right.
Okay. So painting came in back in the 80s. My grandmother was an artist.
Oh, wow.
And so, well, this is funny. So she was a watercolorist.
Okay.
And when my grandfather passed away, well, I took up painting so that two of us could spend time together.
Ah, okay.
But then she quit painting and I kept on going.
Gotcha.
And so the cousin in Texas was the artist. She was the more creative one for sure.
All right.
And she was a hoot. She was an absolute hoot. She would try so much to teach me how to do what I'm doing now. And I just couldn't get it.
Right.
I was too new at it. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
Very
just
cool.
kept going.
Yeah, Stephen's a number person anyway. He that's why he's so curious about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
The number part of your life, the numbering
Yes,
part.
I have to know that, and then that's why I always have to know the price. So as I always joke, I'm just a Jew from New York. So it's like it's in New York. It's like how much. So when I think the very first interview we did, what ended up happening is I forgot who it was. I think Bonnie, and she did this beautiful. She's going through, and I'm thinking, you're not telling anybody. I mean, you're telling the story, which was wonderful. But I'm like, but you're not telling how much it cost. Because that's everybody in their mind is like, that's cool. How much is that? How much is that? So after that show, I started asking the artist at the end, by the way, like, what's your range? So if someone says like for you, 250 to 1200, I'm like, okay. And I know some artists have things that are more expensive, at least whatever. But I'm like, at least that's why we ask it, because what we've also found, that when we ask people to come on and we interview them, whether it's a show or other shows, they never want to, like, no one wants to say what things cost. And I'm like, no, you tell them, because someone may go, oh my God, I can afford that. Like, and go to your website and start buying stuff right away.
Yeah.
So, and everyone's afraid because it's, taught as a kid, right? Don't talk about money. And being Jewish, we were told, don't talk about money, but always ask how much everything is. So that's kind of what we do. So it's like, no, we're not going to talk about it, but how much is it? So, and then the negotiations begin. But
it's a hard thing for people to talk about, though.
Yeah. And it's nice because you're on this, so it's no negotiation. Like when I go buy art at a gallery, or I go and see an artist at their studio and they tell me it's X, I'm like, no, I know that. What do I pay? And then they go, What do you mean? What do I pay? I'm here. What are we going to do with this? And they don't know what to do with that because most people, I think they go, it's 1,000 whatever, and they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, no, what is it? And they're like, I don't. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. It's like negotiate. You know, they don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
Even galleries. Yeah.
I know to tell when you show up at my studio and you say, how much is that, Paul? And you try to negotiate. And, where's the deal? And I says, free delivery.
Well, with your stuff, free deliveries
Just
as
give
much
it
as
to you, right?
as I was gonna say, your stuff is the size of your tire Raven. Free delivery is this much as the Raven would cost, so that's a deal. But we always ask. We have artists on other programs all over the world, and we'll ask them, and they're like, "Oh, I never thought of that." Like they didn't,
That's
so
true.
not that I don't advocate people beating up the artist, but sometimes if you're buying, I don't want to say in bulk, but a few pieces, it's okay to say, "Hey, like, work with me." So I don't know. I come from a different school than most, I guess, but
Well,
but
there's different ways you can so-called negotiate, and a lot of times if they buy two pieces, then you say, well, because you package them together, the
Yeah.
delivery is less money.
Yeah.
There's some advantages different ways, and it's not Mexico. That's what I say. You're grinding away, and
Right.
the poor artist is down on his knees, and you've got your knee on his neck.
No, I don't do that. That's Nunzio and Rocco. They do that for me. That's how we get it. That's how we get a good deal. No, but as I said, your stuff is lovely. I hope whoever's watching either the main show or this show thinks it's as lovely as we do, and hopefully just like you sell tons of it.
That would be nice. I have lots.
Yeah, but from what you were saying though, you're selling. I mean, like you said, this one was painted and that one was painted, and people seem to love your art, and it's very warm and inviting. So
That's
I mean, and so I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, that's nice. Like I said, that first painting where you saw Lincoln and whatnot, I was like, and when you said, oh yeah, it sold to this guy, I'm like, of course it did. And so all the ones you're showing to me, I'm like, of course they sold, because it's just, you look at it and it's just this nice, it's like it's a nice feeling. Like I could just have, my wife will hate this, a scotch and cigar and just sit and look at it and just be like, I'm good. Like I don't need to do anything.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah, no, that's the highest compliment I can give any artist. If I want to sit and look at your artwork with a scotch and cigar and do nothing else, that's it.
I have lots more. Come look.
Okay.
Well, and your work is modestly priced. It really, truly is. So it's something that a gallery, if you get into a gallery situation, they will talk to you about that as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you really can't afford to give half the money to them at that price.
That's right. Well, exactly. Yeah, and I know that. I know it would definitely have to be higher.
Yeah.
So
it's something to consider down the road. And I think, like you said, it's very inexpensive right now, and that's why stuff just jumps off there right away. There's hardly any decisions. They love it, and off it's gone to the. Well, it's nice about it. It goes to a nice home, right? And it's really appreciated, and it's appreciated immediately. Like they just really, So I think that's a bonus for the artist to have some, and that creates followers. They all of a sudden become they might buy a number of pieces over a number of years as they collect your work. So.
Yeah. I do have somebody who does that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's like that keeps the paint in the pot, as you say. You gotta buy the product and to produce what you do, and it's fun. But it's I think it's that's great. We had a great little interview. I think
Thank you so much.
Nothing else to say. I'm just
okay.
I'm brain.
Well, let me say. I'll say this really quick so everyone will hear it, even while we're recording. You can use this interview or of course the first one, which is really what you want to showcase, as wherever you want to use it. On your site, not on your site, show it to your friends, family, whatever. Everyone will promote it. Everybody watching this is more of just the after talk. Nobody really, people are like, oh, that's nice, because they want to get to know you, but use it wherever you want. And whenever you do something new and creative or exciting, or you have a show, get a hold of Paul. By all means, come back and tell us, and we will promote it.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And we will slug it away out onto our social media and onto Artists in Canada as well.
Okay.
And when is this thing? It's going to run.
This one on the 27th, actually, of July. This one will be airing.
Yeah.
That works out good. My Bronte show's coming up August 7th.
Oh, talk about that before we go bye-bye. Yeah. No, tell us about your show. That's what this is all about for you.
Okay. Well, the one in Oakville, I do this one every year. There are probably about 200 artists.
Okay.
But we get thousands of people that come through the park. So you're
Nice.
basically there early in the morning, set up your tent, get everything set up. Pray for the weather to be nice, for sure, because we're right on the waterfront. And
Right.
there has been the odd year where you've actually had to tear everything down, rush it into the car because of the weather.
Right.
Yeah.
It's awesome. The people there are so nice. You get so many diverse people. You know, you chat up a storm with quite a few. It's really, really nice. It's a great show.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I found that those you need throat lozenges at the end of the day. Just to,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah. You
And
talk
lots
so
of
much.
coffee to drive home.
Yeah, you got to drive to commute on top of that as well, right? Hopefully you go home empty. That's the goal, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I think you'll do really well. I think your stuff stands out nicely, and do keep us posted. That'd be a nice thing to hear about. And you can plug on Artists in Canada as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can send you an email about that.
Okay, sounds good.
How you can promote as a member, you can promote.
Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Then, Susan, if you want to stay with us for a few seconds after the credits, we'll do some housekeeping, as David likes to call it. And
Okay.
we're done.
Thanks.
Cheers,
Okay.
everybody.